So let me start in 2 minutes. Okay. So we'll wait for a few more minutes. Yeah. So let us start. Okay. Because sudden over. Yeah. So last session we were discussing about some of the concept like what is data, DBMS. Sorry. Also, we discussed about RDBMS and database system. Then we understood the data representation, like visually, when we are designing the database, we call it as a ER diagram. And once the design is done, like if you want to create a structure and if you want to validate, then we have a concept of normalization we have discussed. Then as an example, so denormalization is also one concept we discussed, sorry. And after that, we try to understand what is SQL. And in that, we have three parts. DDL, we have completed it. Okay, we have completed at least understanding this. Okay. And today we'll be talking about DML. DCL is for majority of time, it is a DBA kind of role. Just we'll discuss very high level. But let us start with DML to understand for today, like how we can work on data manipulation language. In DDL, we try to understand, okay, what is create database, create table, create views, okay. So all those concepts we have discussed. And finally, create views also we have discussed. And today we'll be talking about the data manipulation language. So we are talking about data manipulation language. It is also called as a data modification or language. Let me see this. So in this data DML, we have insert, maybe update queries. We call it as a delete. So these type of queries we are going to understand. This is basically, it is going to modify the table. So that is what we are going to understand. So let me go here. So here, if you look at this, let me open my SQL, command workbench also, and also command prompt. So both the way we can use, okay? So I'll be shifting each other because I want you people to understand both. Welcome. Okay. So once this is done, so we have database. I think now you people are used to this, and also command prompt also you have used to this. So anyway, so either you can use command prompt, like if you want to use this, well, -u root -p. Okay. So you are able to see this command prompt. It means that you are able to log. Now we are going to understand this, and let us work on this. First, theoretically let us try to understand what is usually in the previous session we try to understand, create a database, create a table. Now we are talking about how to insert a record, okay, and how to use all the classes. What is DML? DML is a subset of SQL. Usually, manipulate data which is already stored. We are working with a DML. Okay, in the relational database management system, usually we have standard commands like insert, delete, okay, uh, so and select kind of commands. Insert is used for inserting a record. Modification, we do the update. Then if I want to remove a record from a table, we use the delete. And select if you want to retrieve and show the information based on certain criteria or condition, we use the select command. Now, if you look at the insert command, first you know that, okay, this is the table to be created using the DDL, data definition language. Create table, table name. Here we have already seen that, okay, we already discussed, right, in the previous two sessions. Column 1, data type, column 2, data type. So like this, you can create a one database like this. Create a table students and ID, primary key. Since we already know what is primary key, foreign key, super key, all these keys we have discussed. So basically we are like a primary key and foreign key, and we use exhaustively. But unique also sometimes we use it. Okay, so if you look at this, create table student, student ID int, primary key, first name varchar 50, last name varchar 50, agent. So this type of table we can create. Once we complete this DDL, and I want to insert a record. How do you insert a record? So insert into table name, column 1, column 2, values, and value 1, value. So this is how you can insert a record. So earlier we used to do only one record, but now advanced SQLs and all supports multiple records can be inserted at a stretch. So that is the one of the, whenever the technology upgradations, versions upgradation, so automatically when earlier days when we used to learn, okay, only one record we used to insert at a time, but we can insert multiple records at a time. So we used to write a one text sheet, okay, on that we used to write multiple and we used to modify the data and we used to execute individual queries. But today world, you can create multiple records like this, comma separated value, and you can create it. Similarly, this is one more example, create table orders. Let us see that one. So we will execute and see that, okay. So let me go here, whichever these things. Let me go here. Okay. So let me create a any database. Let me drop this. Okay. Let me create. So I will drop all. No. Now let me create a database. Create database UPL DB. So now there is no here. So now I will execute this. So I have executed. Now refresh this. I got a database. In the previous session, we have learned what is like a DDL. So in this data definition language, we'll try to create what we call it as a the first table. So if we want to create a table, let me go here. We know that this is the structure we have to follow. If you want, you can create like this, create table name. So you can create. So now if I execute this, it will say that, okay, database not selected. So you have to select the database. Either you have to double click here or you have to use this command, use UPL underscore DB and execute this command. That means you have to use this command. Now, as usual, once you create the database, so we have to create a table. We can create table using this. If you record this, you have a student. So this is how you can create it. Now, if you want to understand, let me go here. Like if I want to insert this is the query, right? So insert, it is just like a insert into table name. Okay, column name. So if you don't give, it will take in the same sequence you have to give. Column name 1, column name 2, column name 3. Okay, and then we have to give the values. So for example, if you give like a whichever the column name, roll number, name, so same column name, you have to like a column name 1, same column name corresponding records. If you want to alter, for example, out of 5 columns, you want to insert only 3 columns. So we have to use this. If you remove this, default, you have to insert in the order in which the data definition language exists. That means table structure, according to the table structure. Now, if you know that, then based on the data type, if it's integer in 1, if it is a character XYZ, something like that, okay, and like a values you can keep inserting. If it is a float value, you can like this, you can keep adding this. This is the actual what we call it as a structure. Here values will be added like this. Nowadays, this is also earlier days it was not supported, but now it is supported. Okay, like you can add the multiple this one also like this. So like this you can put this. Now, once this is done, so let me go back here. When you are creating, let me go here, we'll follow the same because it should not confuse you. Now, if I want to insert, I can go and insert students into the database, table name. We are using UPLDB. Student ID, this is the first column. If I want to see that DESC, students. Okay, so now I will execute this. So I have students in the same order I am trying to keep. So student ID, okay, that is the one. First name, last name, age, I can insert the value. Now if this is successful, let me see this, select star from students. So this is how you can execute. From this table, I want to see the records. So one record is inserted. So like this, I can insert. If you want to insert more than one, so you can use this. Okay. So usually earlier days, what we used to do, only one record at a time. Fortunately now, we have a multiple records at a stretch, we can insert it. So now if you look at this, so you can see that 4 records. This is called insertion. That means modifying the table content. We are inserting the table. So for this, what is the syntax? Insert into table name. What are the columns and what are the values associated? Assume that if you remove this, okay, but if you have to maintain the same sequence, that was the expected. So that's why usually, as a best practices, we follow this structure. Okay, so this structure we can follow. So this is how we can work on the insert. Similarly, if you want to showcase for like a auto increment. So this is an example for auto increment. That is a surrogated key I said, right? So I wanted to show that. So let me move here. Okay, now I will use this term. Use UPL underscore DB, show tables. So I have students. Now I have clicked the orders table because now the command prompt I am using. Next, show tables. So I have created. So here, create table orders, order ID, integer. Anyhow, this is a usually int or big int they will take. Data type. Other than primary key, we have made it as a one more like a constant we have added. That is nothing but auto increment. So as I said in the previous session, auto increment is nothing but it will sequence it. It will sequence it. There will be a one table from which the next number will be generated. That sequence number will be added here. It means that you do not require to insert this column value. Only you have to mandate to add customer ID, order date, and total amount. And this will be skipped. Since this is system itself is generating unique. So earlier days, instead of this order ID, some varchar we used to do and we used to insert it. But now the integer value in any applications nowadays, when we are creating a database design, we are using the always auto increment as a primary key. Since it has replaced the primary key value of order ID with some standard unique number to be generated, so we call it as a surrogated key. So that means we are dependent on the surrogated key nowadays. Now, if you look at this, insert into, so now it is explicitly we have to tell now. So insert into orders. Since we should not add this, first only it is expected to create customer ID, order date, total amount. So then values for customer ID. So if you want to see the records, start from orders. So we are able to see that. So similarly, if you like now, let me go here. So insert into orders customer ID. If I make this is 2, something like the 25, okay. Some amount I will make, okay, something like this. Now if I execute, so what will be the next? So select star from orders. So you have a 2 records. Now, if we want to insert third record, 3, 25 something, okay. Some 900 rupees order, something like that. So now if you look at this, so you can see that this is primary key now. This is unique at any given point of time, and it is generating a in sequence order. This is done by MySQL, Oracle, or any other database. They create this primary key. Earlier days, we have to explicitly tell which is the primary key, how to insert and all those things. But fortunately, now we have a query, auto increment, the constraint, if you give that, okay, automatically it will take care. So that was an advantage to use the nowadays using the any database. Now any database, if you design, all the database will be having a one column called ID. Okay, one column as in real-time projects ID, and in textbooks that will not be there. But especially when you are working in the project, ID will be there as a auto increment column. And using that auto increment column, we make it as a primary key. So this is what we have done actually. So any questions about insert? Anyone has any questions? Ansi, Anur, Archana? Do we have any questions?
No, sir.
So, okay. So now we have understood what is insertion command. Now next topic we wanted to discuss is update. So once you go to the update is nothing but modification. So we are talking about modification. So when you are going for modification, update table name, set column. For this column, what is the new value? For this column, what is the new value? And for which record? That is a condition. So that means simply we are trying to do update. So as a syntax, there's a table name. Which table name? Okay, then set we will use that which is predefined one. Column name is equal to some XYZ value. Okay, so column name 1. Okay, so we are doing this. Column name 2. I can give some other value. So like this, we can do that. And but we have to tell which record, then we need a condition. So this is what we are talking about update query. Now, for specific student, I want to update. So for example, select star from student. So we have John Doe, age 20. If you want to modify student ID, age 20 to 23. So this is the expectation. Now, if you want to modify that, let me take update rather than typing. So just I am taking here. Okay, update students table already. So which is the ID primary key? This is the one. So this for this the age. So I have modified now. Now select star from students. So we are selecting the from the students. Now you can see that this is modified. So this is how we can modify the record using the update query. So the people who are coming from non-IT background, so it looks very strange, means very complicated in words, but it is not so. Just you need a bit of time to spend to understand this. That's it. Similarly, here update table set last name is equal to something. So here special character is came because of copy paste. Okay. Where student ID. So I am replacing, for example, I may replace with Mallikarjuna. Something like that. For which student ID? So I can. So now we have done. So you can see that Mallikarjuna last name is set with this. So this is how I can modify the particular record column values through this action. Similarly, we can do like orders. Okay, we have created an orders table. Let me go here. So we have orders table. Update table name orders. Set total amount 200. For here 150 is there, I can modify the record so that you have a now you can able to understand how easily we can modify the A record. So it is replaced actually. So this is why this is a modification or manipulation we are talking about. Similarly, date we can put two conditions. So order date also we can do that, but format whatever we have to use, that we have to see that. The next topic we wanted to discuss is after this is we understood this. The last part of the DML most prominently, we are talking about a delete command. So when you say delete, okay, you either I can delete the so record based on the condition or directly. So let me go here. So here we need to remove one record or multiple records. Let me go here. Usually, if you syntax wise, if you go delete from table name. Okay. So this is one where if you want to add condition, you can add. So this is how we will do that condition. If condition is true, we can do that. Now similarly, delete from student where student ID is equal to 3. So if you want to do that, so I can go here. Before that, let me see the students records. We have 4 records. So I want to delete 3. So delete from table name where student ID is equal to 3. Now if you see the command, so you can see that. So one record has been deleted. So one record will be deleted. Similarly, if you want to delete some more records, you can delete it. So this is how the delete command works. Similarly, we can delete from where order ID is equal to something. So select star from orders. Okay. So we have orders, 3 orders we have. So order ID is not there, 5 is not there. Let me delete third one. Okay, so I will be deleting this. So now I will see that. So now If you execute, so we have executed. Now let us see that order 1 to order edit 2 is 3 is deleted and remaining record is there. So that means we have understood how to create a like what is called delete query. Now basically every time I am using select, what it is actually. Select is nothing but like if you want to selecting from one table or more than one table, you can do that. We have a concept of join central, we'll discuss later. But at this moment, you understand select is for view purpose. Select is for view purpose. So if select is for view purpose. So this is the some of the queries I can execute so that you can able to quickly understand. What we are trying to do is, so first let us drop, because basically each time we do some modification. So let me refresh this. So let me remove this. Okay. So now let me create a pre-table. First table I will create it. So I have created this. Okay. So some DSC students. So describe students. So we have this structure which has been created. Similarly, create orders. So this is a DDL command. So we'll use it. So orders, order ID, this one. And then execute this. Create orders. Orders already exist. We have not dropped. Okay, refresh. So now if I want to create orders, I have created DSC orders. So I have done. Now once this is done, now let me go and insert some records. For students, I will do that. Let me write here only. So I am inserting. So this is because of special character copy paste issue. So just observe it. Okay. Sometimes it will happen. So then we have inserted it. Now if you want to see the records, select star from students. We have done this. Similarly, if I want to insert to the orders table, so I can go here, I can order insert here. So here also, look at this, then select star from orders. So we are able to insert a record. So now we have understood how to insert, how to select, we have understood. So now, like if you want to create a new student, one more table structure I want to create, just to show. Okay, let us do this. Create table. So just creating a new students table. So I have created a new table. So now let me insert into. So it's one record I have inserted. Now let me see this. New students. This is one more table. So I have it has two records. Now, as a data analyst, okay, so we are inserting this actually. Now let me write this query, try to understand what it is. Insert into students table, first name, last name, age, okay, from selecting from these two tables. So this, let me execute this. We have two records. And I am, since the first name and last name and the age, if the same data structure is there is one more table, just I wanted to merge it. So let me insert it. It has executed. Now let me go to the select star from students. So now earlier three records are there. Emily and Alice came from the new student, new table. So new table is, so this is the new table, new students table. from this, I want to copy some records to this, some records to students table. So what we have done, insert into, okay. So we have, in first we have inserted this, assuming that is database is exist. Now we have executed insert into a students. This we have taken. Instead of values, I have executed the select queries. Where do we use? As a data analyst, as a like a data engineer, it is expected to get the data from various other tables. I want to merge back it. Okay, if the column names are mapping, then definitely we have to go to this type of queries. So you'll be able to appreciate and understand when you wanted to execute from other table and you want to insert here this record, it is not like a control C, control V. Rather, it is the simplest way to write a one select query and insert into a student. So this is how from new students two records are merged to a current student. So that is how we can simplify instead of writing a 5 times, 2 times additional insert queries. And if the data structure is same, then I can bring that and I can insert if the data type matches here. Data type matches here. So that's why a majority of time when we are collecting, not only joins has to be written, but we can use the this type of queries to merge this. So that is the advantage of having this. Any questions here? Any questions, please? Yeah, able to follow?
Sir, if we want to retrieve data from another from different database,
Yeah.
if
Then database name dot table name. You should have the permissions.
okay.
Okay. So usually normally as a DBA or they will give the permissions. That is a if you want, assume that there are 15 tables are there. And you want to merge back to the our table or you want to retrieve that. Okay, for whichever you log in, okay, for that if the permission is there, you can do. Okay. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. So like this, we can do that. And similarly, this is one more example, like a in creating a customers. Okay, and we having these type of columns, we can insert and we can delete and we can do that. So quickly, I would like to show one to end once again, so that you people will comfortable in the lab. Okay. So let me go to a. So now we have learned create, delete, and modify, that is in the update also. And also we have understood how to do the select queries. Now let us assume that for time being, I will take a cricket team. Okay. So now let me go here and I can create database just for the connect. So EPL, IPL, cricket. So this is the I have created. Now I have to select this. Use IPL, cricket, DB. Now let me execute. Now this has been selected. So now you are in the IPL cricket team. So we have learned TDL. So in the application, we create like this. If you are creating an application for IPL players, I can create like this. So I can one for players. So player ID, player name, role we have created. DSC, players. Just showing that for any application, you have to create end-to-end, and we have that. So this is auto increment, primary key. This is how we can create. Similarly, the players all match. So something like that. Okay. So table first storing a match ID, match date, who is the opponent, and what is the location, which is the location, what is the result, something like that. So we can create like this. Here also you can see that everywhere we are taking the primary key is surrogated key only. So that means you also require to take same. Matches. So we have created this as well. Similarly, if I want to create performance, to create a performance table like this. So here performance ID, player ID, match ID, run score, wicket. So all these things. Okay. Here you can see here, it is auto increment. That is one. Foreign key, you can see that. Player ID referring to the players table. Okay. This is one foreign key. So another foreign key is match ID. So player in which matches table and what is the column. So that means two foreign keys are there in this. So you can create like this. And if you see that here also everywhere surrogated key only primary key. So you can see that. So here multiply, this is nothing but foreign key. This is the primary key. And so these are the informations. This is how you can create the DDL. One database you will create and use that and you can create the table. Now if I want to insert, okay. So I can insert records, layers in information. We have learned, okay, DML. So how do we do this? Okay, so now insert into information. So what is the information? Players info, player name, role, batting style, bowling style, Virat Kohli, batsman, right hand bat, none. Okay, empty, none means empty. So like this we can insert. Select star from layers. Okay, so now you can notice that. So we are able to insert 4 people and using the simple insert command. Similarly, if you want to insert to the matches, so we can insert into, now insert into matches, match date, who is the opponent, Australia, Melbourne, India 1, South Africa 1, India 1. So like this result also we are keeping. So we can create like this type of table. Now if I want to show the performance of a person, so we can go and show the player ID, what is the player ID, match ID, run score. So all these things we can do that. So we are able to show the performance. So select star from performance. So all the players performance is there. Who is the player? Let's go to player table. Which match? What is the run score? Wicket taken? How many balls faced and balls faced and balls bowled actually. So these are all DML, what we call it insert, delete, update. Okay, so that we are able to do that. Now we'll say that we wanted to update. So we already know that. So update, just we'll go here. Just for MTN sake, I'm showing update players, batting style, right hand bat. So players, if you go to that, you can able to see Virat Kohli, batsman, right hand batsman. Okay, but here right hand batsman as well as a right arm off spinner. Who is that player name? So we are setting the value. Update table. To try to update right hand batsman after, okay. Where you are using a safe update. Try to update. Okay, one second. Okay, one second. Just I wanted to see. Sage. Disable. Copy. Update batting style. Player name. Error code 1125. You are safe update mode and you are trying to update a table without where uses a key column. So that is telling that you have not used the key column. Okay, it is not a safe. Let me players. What is there in that? Players. Okay, player name is there. Primary key is not there. Okay, so why? DSC layers. Select star from layers. So Virat Kohli is layer underscore ID. Layer underscore ID. 1. Let me. So it is not allowing. It is telling that you are using a non-primary key to identify a record. So some extra constraint, you have to disable something. But so if you use the primary key, you can able to update. You have to inspect and see if we need this version, what it is there, why, or if whether how to enable this, all those things. Okay, this will be the right use case actually. Now, so we have done this. Let us see performance table. Similarly, let us see that runs code. So we are able to, this is updated. So where player ID is equal to 2, match ID is equal to 1. This is a primary key, and because of that, it is able to do that. Similarly, if I want to delete, so I can delete the performance of a table for player ID. So this also you can do. Like this, if I want to select players, okay. Okay, so we have the paper. Similarly, select a star from matches. And similarly, if you want to do joins and all, I have not discussed. In the next session, I will be discussing that. So at this moment, just we'll be discussing separately because which is more important for the interview perspective. So it is joining means there are 4 different types of joins we'll be discussing. At this moment, we are talking about inner join. So what are those joins? And we will see that actually. But basically, as a part of DML, so we have understood, okay, like how to create a data definition language, how to use a data manipulation language. And in that DML, we have understood what is insert, delete, and update queries. Any questions here for you people? All of you are able to follow? Yeah. So,
Sir, just a question, sir. In that you had updated with the player name, sir. Can we use a select in the where condition also? Like where ID is equal to select ID from player where name is equal to Virat Kohli?
Here,
Yes, sir.
so here,
We got
what you said, what do you want?
Select ID, player ID from player where.
That you can write inner queries. That and I have not.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, so that and all you can do that. But for update query, it is telling that you don't use non-primary key. That's it. That is not safe.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So we will be discussing in the next session what is inner join, outer join, nested query, correlated queries, and all those things. At this moment, just we are discussing about very high level what is DML.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So any other question from anyone? Okay, so then we'll see you tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll discuss some more concepts of DML or joins and all, and we'll try to see whatever the question you have asked, that will be answered tomorrow. So thank you very much for joining. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.